Alright, another Starship test. And another explosion. But guess what? That's a good thing. Starship blew up. How could that be a good thing? Bear with me. Just keep listening. You'll get there. SpaceX's Starship Flight 8 was all about pushing the limits of the world's most powerful rocket, and it delivered big time. Because sometimes to know where the limits are, you have to go until the point that something fails. Today we're breaking down what went right, yes, a lot did, what failed, and why failure is part of progress, and the physics behind Starship's extreme tests. So buckle up, because this is how we get to Mars. I'm Ben, this is Physics or Bust. First off, let's talk about wins, because Flight 8 wasn't just about breaking things. There was a lot that went right. It had a perfect liftoff and boost phase, all 33 Raptor engines lighted successfully, producing over 7,590 metric tons of thrust. That's more than twice the Saturn V rocket that sent us to the moon. The booster cleared the launch tower with no major structural issues, which, if you remember, just 2 flights ago we had problems with on Flight 6, where the communication tower at the top of the catch tower was damaged, making the booster divert to a water landing instead of a catch. Flight 8 also had a successful hot stage separation, which is one of the riskiest moments in flight. Unlike traditional stage separation, Starship fires its upper stage engines while still attached to the booster. Why? Because it saves weight and improves efficiency, critical for making missions to Mars. But there is some speculation that the process of lighting the upper stage engines before the separation from the booster could be what's causing some of the problems that we had in Flight 7 and 8, making us lose the ships. And finally, we had a record-setting max Q performance. Max Q is the point where a rocket experiences maximum aerodynamic stress. Basically, where the air is pushing back hardest. Each time Starship launches, there is tremendous stress on the ship because of the air resistance. Starship held together under record-setting intense forces, structurally a major success. The takeaway? Each of these milestones gets us closer to a fully operational Starship. Alright, now let's talk failures, the biggest moments that didn't go as planned. But remember, test flights are designed to break things. First, the heat shield and plasma flow issues. As Starship re-entered, sensors detected asymmetric plasma flow, which means that hot gases weren't evenly distributed. This suggests a heat shield tile failure, whether that's a structural problem or an early tile loss. You see, plasma temperatures can reach up to 3,000 degrees Fahrenheit, so even just a small structural gap can cause catastrophic damage. Next, Starship experienced a loss of flight control. Starship lost stability and started tumbling. There's a few possibilities for why this could have happened. It could be thruster control problems, or a problem with the control software. The intended soft splashdown in the water didn't happen. Instead, we get what SpaceX likes to call a RUD. Rapid, unscheduled disassembly, otherwise known as Starship breaking up into a million pieces on its way down. But that's exactly what these tests are for, pushing the envelope until we find the limits. Failures like these tell engineers and problem solvers at SpaceX exactly where they need to focus before Starship takes people to space. Some people see the explosion of Starship and say, "Oh no, SpaceX messed up!" But that's not how rocket science works. This kind of failure is necessary because pushing boundaries is the quickest way to learn. Safety is a huge concern, and there's a lot of man-hours and time and thought put into making things extremely safe. And everyone knows that when breaking new ground, there's going to be risks involved. Many of the great engineering breakthroughs happened only after failures. When Thomas Edison was asked about the failures he had when trying to make the light bulb, he said he didn't fail at making a light bulb 100 times. He found 100 ways not to make a light bulb. And SpaceX itself has another example of that. The Falcon 9 rocket failed 5 times to land before it got it right. And now it's routine. These pushing the limit tests save future astronauts' lives. It's better to find all the problems you can with Starship before there's ever a person on board. Every data point from this flight will help make Starship safer and more reliable in the future. SpaceX's superpower is rapid iteration. Unlike NASA's old model of one test every few years, SpaceX is testing at breakneck speed. Starship Flight 9 is already in preparation, with fixes from Flight 6 and 7 already in place. And the results of this flight are going to be affecting future designs and specifications of Starship, especially as they piece together exactly what happened before the rut, and determine the root cause in order to prevent it from happening in the future. My final takeaway? This mission was a success, even in failure, because rapid iteration and learning from each test flight is how we go from test flights to Mars landings. So what's the next steps? Here's what SpaceX is working on for Flight 9 and beyond. Heat shield upgrades, including better tile attachments in order to prevent early loss, more advanced flight software as they improve the algorithms for handling re-entry turbulence. And the one I'm most excited about is the refueling in space. Because the next big step for Starship is the ability to transfer fuel from one ship to another, allowing for a refueling while still orbiting Earth before heading out for deep space. And remember, NASA's Artemis program is counting on Starship to land astronauts on the moon. So every one of these test flights gets us one step closer to having humans back on the lunar surface, and eventually, Mars. So what do you think is the most exciting part of Starship's future? Let me know in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, I think you'd like this book. I have an affiliate link in the description below. I do get a small commission, but it doesn't cost you any extra. For more space and science updates, make sure to like and subscribe, and remember, keep asking questions. I'll see you on the next video.